The 1981 United States 1 dime, minted in Denver, is a small but historically significant coin that continues the legacy of American coinage design and reflects key aspects of U.S. history, economics, and presidential legacy. This coin, bearing a face value of 10 cents, is part of the Roosevelt Dime series, which began in 1946, shortly after the death of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, one of the most influential leaders in American history. Roosevelt's image was chosen to appear on the dime as a tribute to his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, as well as his connection to the March of Dimes campaign to fight polio, a disease he himself suffered from. The obverse front of the 1981 D-dime features a left-facing portrait of Roosevelt, designed by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint. Surrounding the portrait are inscriptions including Liberty on the left, the national motto, "In God We Trust," on the lower left near the neck truncation, the date 1981 on the lower right, and the mint mark D, indicating the Denver Mint, located to the right of Roosevelt's neck. The initials JS for Sinek can be found at the base of the bust. The reverse side of the coin features a symbolic design also by Sinek. It includes a lit torch in the center, flanked by an olive branch on the left and an oak branch on the right. These three elements collectively symbolize liberty, torch, peace, olive branch, and strength, oak branch. Arched across the top is a legend, United States of America, and at the bottom is a denomination, 1 dime. The phrase e pluribus unum, Latin for out of many one, appears in small text between the branches and the torch. This design has remained unchanged since its introduction in 1946, a rare continuity in modern U.S. coinage, and a reflection of Roosevelt's enduring popularity and the practicality of the design. In 1981, the U.S. Mint produced Roosevelt dimes at 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver D, and San Francisco S, for proof coins. The Denver Mint struck approximately 676 million dimes in 1981, making the coin quite common in circulation and readily available to collectors and the public. Coins in the Denver Mint typically exhibit a strong strike and good detail, though due to mass production, they can still suffer from die, wear, or minor planchet flaws. These dimes are composed of a clad composition, outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This copper-nickel clad structure replaced the 90% silver dimes previously used until 1964, due to rising silver prices and changes in monetary policy. As a result, the 1981 D-dime contains no silver and weighs approximately 2.27 grams, with a diameter of 17.91 millimeters and a reeded edge, small grooves along the rim, originally intended as security feature to prevent shaving or clipping of silver coins. From a numismatic perspective, circulated in 1981, D-dimes generally hold only face value, unless they are in uncirculated mint state condition or part of original mint sets. Mint state MS coins are graded on the Sheldon scale from MS 60 to MS 70. Coins graded MS 65 or above can command modest premiums among collectors. Well-preserved coins with strong luster, no contact marks, and sharp strike quality are particularly desirable. However, due to the high mintage, even in mint state, their value tends to be low, usually a few dollars at most, unless they have errors or are graded extremely high, like MS-67 or MS-68. Examples with full torch, FT, or full bands, FB, designations on the reverse, meaning the horizontal bands on the torch are fully struck and separated, are especially sought after in top grades. There are also varieties and errors that make certain 1981 D-dimes more collectible. These can include off-center strikes, die cracks, double dies, filled dies, or misaligned dies. However, such errors are relatively rare and must be authenticated and evaluated individually. Collectors often seek such coins for their novelty and uniqueness, with values based on demand and the severity of the error. In terms of historical context, 1981 was a transitional time in American history. Ronald Reagan took office in January 1981, marking the beginning of a new conservative era in U.S. politics. The economy was struggling with inflation and high interest rates, while Cold War tensions with the Soviet Union were still a major factor in foreign policy. Though small and seemingly insignificant, Coins like the 1981 D-dime circulated widely and passed to the hands of millions of Americans, serving as a silent witness to everyday life during that period. Purchases at grocery stores, gasoline stations, and vending machines, especially when coins had a greater purchasing power than today. In everyday commerce, the dime continues to be the smallest and thinnest U.S. coin currently in use, though ironically is worth more than both the penny and nickel. Its size and high mintage make it ubiquitous yet often overlooked. Nonetheless, the Roosevelt dime remains a tribute to a president whose leadership helped guide the U.S. through one of its most challenging eras, and the 1981 D version is an enduring piece of that story. Though most 1981 D dimes remain common, they represent not just monetary value, but also cultural, historical, and symbolic meaning. For both casual collectors and those deeply immersed in the numismatic world, this coin remains a staple in American coinage and a humble reminder of the stories even the smallest denominations can tell the next top. The 1999 P United States dime, bearing the inscriptions United States of America, one dime, Liberty, and dated 1999, is a small yet significant piece of modern American coinage. Minted at the Philadelphia Mint, as denoted by the P Mint mark, this coin is part of the Roosevelt dime series, which has been in continuous production since 1946. It honors Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, whose leadership during the Great Depression and World War II left a profound mark on the nation. The obverse front of the coin features a left-facing portrait of Roosevelt, designed by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint at the time of its creation. Above Roosevelt's head is the word Liberty, a long-standing symbol of American ideals. To the left of the portrait is the phrase, "In God We Trust," the national motto of the United States, while the date 1999 appears below the neck, slightly right. The tiny P Mint mark, indicating Philadelphia, is situated to the left of the torch on the reverse. The reverse side of the 1999 P dime remains unchanged since 1946, featuring a torch in the center, representing Liberty, flanked by an olive branch on the left for peace and an oak branch on the right for strength and independence. This imagery, also designed by John R. Sinek, visually expresses the values and virtues that Roosevelt stood for. Encircling these symbols are the inscriptions United States of America at the top and one dime at the bottom, indicating the coin's country of origin and denomination, respectively. Between the olive and oak branches is the Latin phrase E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, a motto reflecting the unity of the states that make up the nation. From a technical standpoint, the 1999 P Roosevelt dime is struck on a copper-nickel-clad planchet, which became standard in 1965 when the U.S. Mint eliminated silver from most circulating coins. It has a composition of outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, making it more cost-effective and durable. The coin has a diameter of 17.91 millimeters, a thickness of 1.35 millimeters, and a weight of 2.268 grams. It also features 118 reeds on its edge, a traditional anti-counterfeiting measure that dates back to early coinage practices, when reading discouraged the shaving of precious metals from coin edges. The Philadelphia Mint produced a massive number of these coins in 1999, approximately 1.2 billion. To meet the high demand for circulating coinage in the booming late 1990s American economy. In terms of historical and cultural context, 1999 was a transitional year as the United States approached the new millennium. It was a period marked by technological optimism, economic expansion during the dot-com bubble, and the preparation for the introduction of the 50-state quarters program, which began the same year. Although the dime did not change its design like the quarters, it remained a daily reminder of Roosevelt's enduring legacy, especially his role in founding the March of Dimes, a national foundation originally created to combat polio, an illness he personally battled. The choice to place Roosevelt on the dime in 1946 was a tribute to his leadership and his connection to the organization that continues to champion children's health. From a numismatic perspective, most 1999 P dimes hold face value in circulated condition due to their high mintage and widespread availability. However, examples in uncirculated mint state condition particularly those graded MS-67 or higher by services such as PGS or NGC, can be of interest to collectors seeking perfect specimens for date runs or typesets. In rare instances, error coins, such as off-center strikes, broad strikes, or coins struck on the wrong planchet, may fetch premiums in the collector market. Overall, the 1999 P Roosevelt dime is more than just a 10-cent piece. It is a coin steeped in symbolism, political history, and post-war American legacy. Though it may pass unnoticed in everyday transactions, its design reflects decades of U.S. values, economic shifts, and reverence for a president who guided the nation through immense challenges. Whether nestled in the pocket of a citizen or placed in a collector's album, this dime carries with it a narrative that intertwines personal triumph, national strength, and civic unity, quietly circulating the ideals it was designed to embody the next top. The 2004 P United States dime is a small yet significant coin in American numismatic history, minted at the Philadelphia Mint as indicated by the P Mint mark. Bearing the denomination 1 dime, this coin is part of the Roosevelt dime series that has been in continuous production since 1946. The obverse front of the coin features a portrait of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, whose leadership during the Great Depression and World War II left a lasting impact on the nation. Designed by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the United States Mint at the time, the Roosevelt dime was introduced shortly after Roosevelt's death as a tribute to his legacy and especially his support for the March of Dimes, a campaign to fight polio, the disease that had affected him personally. On the obverse, in addition to Roosevelt's bust facing left, the inscriptions include the word liberty along the left side, in God we trust to the lower left, the mint mark P to the right of the neck near the truncation of the bust, and the date 2004 to the lower right, just beneath the neck. The reverse back of the 2004 dime retains the original design that has remained mostly unchanged since 1946. It features a torch in the center, symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch on the left, representing peace, and an oak branch on the right, symbolizing strength and independence. Above the torch is the inscription United States of America, and below is a denomination spelled out as 1 dime. Across the center is the motto E pluribus unum, which translates from Latin as out of many one, referencing the unity of the states into one nation. The design is compact and balanced, emblematic of post-war American ideals and a growing sense of national unity and democratic values. From a physical standpoint, the 2004 P dime is composed of a clad composition of outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of pure copper. This clad structure was first introduced in 1965 to replace the earlier 90% silver coins, a change driven by the rising cost of silver and the increasing use of coinage in everyday commerce. The coin measures 17.91 millimeters in diameter, weighs 2.27 grams, and has a reeded edge, a feature that was historically used to deter the clipping or shaving of precious metal coins. By 2004, the U.S. Mint was producing billions of dimes annually, and the Philadelphia Mint contributed significantly to this volume. In that year, over 1.1 billion dimes were struck with a P Mint mark, making the 2004 P dime quite common in circulation and of minimal numismatic value, unless in uncirculated or error condition. As for its numismatic value, most 2004 P dimes found in circulation today are worth face value 10 cents. However, collectors do seek out high-grade examples, particularly those graded MS-66 or above mint state, by third-party grading services such as PGS or NGC, which may command slightly higher prices. Additionally, varieties and errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, or die clashes can increase a coin's value significantly depending on rarity and visibility of error. Some collectors specifically search for full torch or full bands, FB or FT designations, which refer to full clarity of the torch's horizontal bands on the reverse, a detail that indicates a well-struck coin and is a mark of quality in Roosevelt dime collecting. The 2004 dime also sits within a transitional era of American coinage. While the design had not changed for decades, there was an increasing movement toward commemorative and state-specific coin programs at the time, like the State Quarters program, which was in full swing in 2004. Nevertheless, The Roosevelt dime remained untouched in design, representing a symbol of continuity in the nation's coinage amid evolving social, political, and cultural landscapes. Its enduring design also suggests a respect for Roosevelt's legacy and the values he championed. While not rare, the 2004 P dime continues to serve as a reminder amid 20th century American ideals, both through its tribute to a pivotal leader and in its symbolism of liberty, unity, peace, and strength. Collectors and historians alike value such coins not merely for their monetary worth, but for the deeper story they tell, a story etched into the fabric of American life through decades of circulation next top. The 2014 P. Roosevelt dime, bearing the inscriptions United States of America, 1 dime, Liberty. The year 2014 in the Philadelphia Mint Mark P is a modern 10-cent coin minted by the United States Mint as part of the ongoing Roosevelt dime series, which began in 1946 in honor of the late President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The obverse of the coin features a detailed left-facing portrait of Roosevelt, designed by John R. Sinnock, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint at the time of Roosevelt's death. Sinnock's initial J.S. can be seen at the base of the neckline. This obverse design has remained virtually unchanged since its introduction, a testament to Roosevelt's enduring legacy as the 32nd President of the United States, who led the nation through the Great Depression and most of World War II. The word liberty appears prominently to the left of Roosevelt's profile, a nod to one of the president's core values and to the spirit of freedom he helped defend during tumultuous times. Just beneath the chin is a national motto, "In God We Trust," and the date, 2014, sits at the bottom right. Above the date is the P Mint mark, indicating the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. On the reverse, the design, also by Sinnock, features a torch in the center symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch representing peace, and an oak branch signifying strength and independence. Around the rim are the inscriptions United States of America at the top and 1 dime at the bottom. The Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, appears horizontally in 3 lines across the lower portion of the reverse, reinforcing the theme of unity and diversity that defines the American ideal. The 2014 P dime is struck in a standard clad composition, comprising outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, producing a silvery appearance, with a reeded edge. These modern Roosevelt dimes weigh 2.27 grams and measure 17.91 millimeters in diameter. Though the Philadelphia Mint does not typically strike proof coins, those are usually done in San Francisco, it does produce billions of business strike coins for everyday circulation, and in 2014, more than 1.4 billion dimes were minted in Philadelphia alone, making this version quite common in pocket change and not rare by numismatic standards. The Roosevelt dime design was chosen shortly after Roosevelt's death in April 1945 due to his role in founding the March of Dimes, a nonprofit that initially fought polio and later evolved into a broader child health advocacy group. Thus, placing Roosevelt's image on the dime was both a practical and symbolic gesture, intertwining the coin's denomination with his health crusade. Since its debut in 1946, the Roosevelt dime has remained in continuous production, replacing the earlier winged Liberty Head or Mercury dime. By 2014, the coin had been in production for nearly 7 decades, and though various commemorative and special issues would appear on other denominations, the dime retained its classic design throughout. The 2014 edition did not mark any special anniversary or design change, and its release followed routine production schedules, including coin bags and rolls distributed to banks and financial institutions. While collectors often seek high-grade uncirculated examples or those struck with full torch details, known as full bands in grading terminology, most 2014 P dimes encountered in circulation exhibit minor wear and little premium value, unless in mint state condition. The coin is frequently included in year sets and mint sets from 2014, both as a collectible and as a component of the broader numismatic history of modern America. Numismatically, the 2014 P dime reflects the U.S. Mint's commitment to consistency and mass production efficiency. While not unique in itself, it serves as a representative example of how American coinage serves both economic and commemorative functions. Despite its small size and modest face value, each dime carries a visual and symbolic weight of American ideals, liberty, unity, strength, and trust in a higher power, distilled into metal form. The continued use of Roosevelt's image, combined with the emblematic torch, olive, and oak, demonstrates the enduring nature of post-war American iconography. Whether used in everyday transactions or stored in rolls by collectors, the next top. The 2018 D Roosevelt dime, minted at the Denver Mint in Colorado, is a modest yet historically rich coin that continues a legacy spanning over 7 decades of American numismatics. This 10-cent piece, bearing the iconic image of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt on its obverse, is part of the long-running Roosevelt Dime series, which began in 1946, a tribute initiated shortly after Roosevelt's death in 1945. The decision to place Roosevelt on the dime was deeply symbolic. Not only was he a revered 4-term president who guided the United States through the Great Depression and the vast majority of World War II, but he was also intimately tied to the fight against polio, having suffered from the disease himself. The dime became a symbol of the March of Dimes campaign, a movement he championed to fund polio research and support victims of the disease. This association transformed the humble dime from a mere monetary instrument into a lasting symbol of national resilience, health advocacy, and social unity. Designed by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint at the time, the obverse of the 2018 D dime features a left-facing portrait of Roosevelt, modeled from photographs taken during his presidency. The inscriptions surrounding his likeness include the word liberty in bold typeface to the left, the motto, "In God We Trust," beneath his chin, and the year of issue 2018 toward the lower right. The small capital D mint mark, positioned just above the date, identifies the Denver Mint as a producing facility. This mint mark has been a consistent feature on Denver coinage for generations and plays a critical role for collectors and historians in identifying coin origin. The Roosevelt portrait has remained largely unchanged since its debut, demonstrating its strong legacy and the Mint's commitment to preserving a dignified representation of one of America's most transformative leaders. The reverse of the coin is equally symbolic and features 3 central elements: a flaming torch in the center, flanked by an olive branch to the left and an oak branch to the right. These design components, also crafted by Sinek, convey the ideals of liberty, torch, peace, olive branch, and strength, oak branch, values Roosevelt himself championed during his presidency. Around the edge are the inscriptions United States of America and 1 dime, with the national motto E pluribus unum, out of many one, situated just beneath the flame. This powerful yet compact imagery and motto align perfectly with Roosevelt's emphasis on national unity and the collective American spirit. Struck in copper-nickel-clad composition, the 2018 D dime features an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel over a pure copper core, consistent with the clad coinage introduced in 1965 following the elimination of silver dimes from general circulation. This composition provides durability and resistance to corrosion, extending the coin's useful life in circulation. Weighing approximately 2.27 grams and measuring 17.91 millimeters in diameter, the dime also features a reeded edge, a design element originally intended to prevent coin clipping and still used today as a measure against tampering and counterfeiting. Despite its small size, the Roosevelt dime carries significant symbolic weight and economic functionality, making it a vital component of American coinage. In 2018, the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of Roosevelt dimes for circulation, reflecting the coin's central role in daily commerce across the United States. While these coins are generally common in circulated condition and easily accessible uncirculated examples, especially those graded highly by third-party services, such as PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, are of particular interest to collectors. Coins graded MS-67 or higher, especially those displaying sharp strike details and clean surfaces, can be relatively scarce and command a premium on the numismatic market. A particularly desirable feature among specialists is the full bands, FB designation, which indicates that the horizontal bands wrapping the torch on reverse are fully defined and separated, a mark of precise, high-quality strike from a well-maintained die. Although the 2018 D Roosevelt dime is not considered rare in circulated form, certain varieties and error coins from this year, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or die cracks, can hold enhanced value, especially when authenticated and attributed by reputable grading services. Additionally, this coin plays a role in annual mint sets, which include uncirculated examples from both the Philadelphia and Denver mints and are sought by collectors interested in preserving examples of modern U.S. coinage in pristine condition. Some collectors pursue year-by-year sets that include all mint marks, further embedding the 2018 D-Dime into a broader narrative of continuity and dedication within numismatics. Beyond its monetary value, the 2018 D. Roosevelt dime represents more than 7 decades of American history, public health advocacy, and consistent design heritage. It remains a small yet powerful symbol of democracy, leadership, and perseverance. Despite its ubiquity and size, this coin embodies the enduring spirit of President Roosevelt's vision and the practical utility of the U.S. Mint's commitment to accessible, meaningful coinage. It continues to circulate through hands young and old, quietly connecting generations through a shared piece of history that echoes the principles of liberty, strength, and unity. As such, the 2018 D-Dime is not only a medium of exchange, but a miniature monument to one of America's most influential presidents and the resilient ideals he helped shape.